Soundcheck, soundcheck. You know what? It's another week. Yo,
I
can't
don't
see
know
you,
what
bro.
happened to my camera, you know. I don't know what happened to my
You
camera, you
look,
know.
you look bleak, and that's not my South African accent. You just look bleak.
It looks like I'm trying to save big time on these high prices.
Yeah, you look like your meters run out, bruv.
You know what I mean? Like I'm using candles and stuff because of these energy companies who are not bringing the prices back down, even though the war's not the biggest thing at the moment.
Okay.
Well, hypothetically speaking, of course.
Of course. So
So
what happened to your light?
the light is on. This is the most light I've ever had. It's never been because the light usually just the ambiance is enough to illuminate, but
Nah, you've had lights
something
brighter than
happened.
that, bruv. The evidence is there.
No, but this is what I'm saying. I've not had the light is on more than it usually is, but
Okay.
the light that's the camera's accepting is changed somehow. Like maybe the lux or the f stop or whatever these people do. I don't
No,
know what's
they
happened.
just know what conspiracy theories you're talking about, and they've come to get you.
This is the
Either that, or you
weird
blacking out your
thing
face, so there's no face, no case.
in it. I did because it happened on my stream when I just jumped on one night. I think it was what was it? It was actually on the 14th. I jumped on a quick flight, as in the midnight flight, where I
Yeah,
played down tempo grooves, love songs, and slow jams. The camera was just
yeah.
messed. It was just different, and now it looks like
What
it's
was?
carried over the camera.
Oh, okay.
And now it looks like it's just carried over into this. So I'm gonna have to do some real settings and whatnots. But how to actually get to it, I've not done it before via sort of the laptop.
No, if you could see the
Yeah,
cog
that
wheel while we're chatting at the bottom settings, you might need to
yeah,
change it from 720 to 1080 or whatever, or
because it's on the standard,
yeah,
and
maybe
now that's 720.
go up one or down one and see if it changes.
Yep, that's 720, and this is 360. So
It
it's
hasn't changed. It's the
something
lighting,
in the
bruv.
camera itself.
Yeah, the zoom in moved in and out. It's the lighting, bruv. It's all right.
Crazy. I'm gonna try
It's
and
all
sort
right.
it out in between, but we shall
We'll
see.
start a GoFundMe and we should be there soon.
Support Dave's illumination.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Literally that.
Support Dave's illumination. He wants to hide in the shadow so much. His camera said, "Okay."
Oh man. How's your week been?
It's been pretty cool. Very fast, but pretty cool. I just can't.
Too too
It's just,
bloody fast.
it's just. I don't know what's happening, man. There's a meeting I have every 2 weeks. I thought it was 1 week. It's actually been 2 weeks since the last
And
meeting.
it snuck up on you.
I forgot completely.
Hmm.
I forgot completely. So Friday I went cinema.
Ooh.
Saw something that we'll be discussing next week when we go through the box sets of the
Oh, I can't wait.
movies.
I want to know if it's good or bad or not.
Saw something quite interesting that a lot of people probably. Oh, and I'll mention some behavior as well in that show. My gosh. Anyway,
Oh,
and then
okay.
went to see Mum on Saturday,
Yeah.
and then on Sunday I went to check out Got Soul,
Oh,
which
you
was a nice
did?
evening. Yeah, yeah,
Okay, the Jay Diller edition.
yeah. It was nice, man. It was nice. It was
Yeah?
nice. Yeah, and I had my throat burn out by some pepper fish.
Oh my God.
Hui, because I don't do spice and pepper.
Oh,
I
you
do. I
don't?
don't. Sorry, I don't do pepper. I do spices. Spice is fine. A little bit of spice, fine. But when it's pepper, that just robs you of your whole entire senses.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. When it gets your blood circulating.
It gets your blood running for the for the hills. That's not for me, boy. That's
Mm.
not for me. That's not my preference, shall we say? Not my preference, but it was nice. It was nice. The fish itself was all right once I got past the pepper stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. How's your week been, man?
Okay. My week was semi-productive
Hmm.
until I had a car accident.
Oh no.
Had a car accident. I drive a nearly classic Beetle. It's just about this couple years off being classic.
Mm.
Couple years off being classic.
We're talking Herbie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Beetle.
Mm.
blacked out, black rims, black windows,
Mm,
black everything.
mm,
It's just, and it was sitting nice, just
mm,
sitting nice, nice shoes, everything. Oh,
yeah.
polished shoes, everything was nice.
Mm,
Yeah,
oh man.
got into an accident, and because it's nearly classic, any
Mm,
repairs on it is going to be more than what the car's worth.
worth. Well, well. If it's almost like a collector's edition, wouldn't that then have
No, it's
to
not collectors.
not yet?
Classic means the amount of years, then you don't have to pay tax.
Sure,
Collectors is different. Yeah.
but then isn't yours maybe in a category of collectibles that somebody might say, you know what? No, that's actually worth 28 times more than what you think it is.
No, not mine.
Not yours. No.
No.
Okay. Because
It's
you know
just for
sometimes
the
people are just sitting in it. They're like, yeah, because when you said that everything's fresh and it's decked out and everything's nice, I know it's had the accident, but
yeah.
you know, the appraisal of it, if you went to a certain dealer, I mean, if you go
Yeah.
to what's his name, Fred's car salesman down the
Yeah,
road,
yeah, yeah,
he's
yeah,
gonna be
yeah.
like, nah, yeah, I'll give you this much. But if you went to Sotheby's car classics
They'll
in
have
whatever,
appreciation for the work
they,
done on it.
they might be like, oh, this I've got clients who love
But the thing about
collects
it is I
Beatles
kept
like
it
this,
basic. I've kept it basic, like literally basic.
but it
I
runs
haven't
right.
done I haven't
Don't worry.
done nothing to it. But I've
That's
kept it
hmm
I've kept it just clean.
hmm
Just clean. Just clean, clean.
hmm
As I said, it's got nice shoes, it's got nice aesthetics,
yeah.
everything's crystal. And then some come and nearly took off the bumper, nearly took off the wing, but everything's fine. But the axle and everything snapped, I think, or broken. Uh,
I
anyway, but that was my week, so not a happy chappy.
sorry, man. Sorry, man.
Yeah, not a happy chappy at all.
Damn. Damn.
Mm.
I mean, it's not quite in the same vein at all, but I had a bit of a weird car situation as well.
Serious.
Well, I'm not driving, but I
Yeah,
got an email from a company that I've hired cars from,
yeah.
and it was like, um, we've had a charge notice. These things happen. If you could please settle this within the 14-day period, that would be great. Thanks.
Okay.
So I open up the attachment, and it's a notice from June 2024.
So, no, what do you mean? So that should have already. What are you trying to say?
They got the notice in June 2024, but they're sending it to me last week. This week, I should say.
At
No,
what
last week.
price? At what price?
Oh, it was going over the Dartford. So £2.50 turned into £42.50 because they add £40 admin fee.
Yeah, but when it don't you get a notice within 24 hours saying that you
Supposed
haven't
to.
paid it, and if you don't pay it, it goes up.
Yes, that's the notice they
Right. So
got
that means
in
they were
June
responsible for
2024.
letting you know within
Mhm.
that time, and they wasn't. So you're not responsible for the other £38. You're
That's
responsible for
their
the 40.
that's their admin fee,
Oh,
regardless of
their
whatever.
admin fee.
Their yes. So it's not even the fine going up. They'll settle it, but then they bill you for that charge plus their charge, which is the forty
Oh, so
pound,
you've
which is
done it
admin fee.
purposely then? You could have told me weeks ago. You could have told me months ago.
Well, the thing is, they got it on June 24th, right? Oh, sorry, in June 2024. That's when they got it,
Yeah,
but they sent it to me in February 2025.
yeah. Just before the tax year, so all the books are balanced. Yeah, it's all
Yeah,
right.
but get
Yeah.
this: the actual date on the actual offence was December 2023.
What? So they're just carrying stuff over to balance their books.
It was mad. So the thing happened in
Nah,
December
I would have
2023,
paid. I wouldn't pay nothing. Nothing.
and then they
Mad.
got the notice in June 2024, and they've said it to me
Yeah,
in
I'll
Feb
do exactly what it
2025.
is. Here's £2 a month. Here's £2 a month. That's what you're
Well,
getting. That's all I got
get
for you.
this. I actually got a receipt for the day after, which I paid the actual amount. So I just screenshot that and sent it to him. I said, "Yeah, I suppose you can't dispute it now."
Mm,
So if this could be waived, it'd be lovely.
yeah, I'm not paying their admin fee. If I've paid the crossing the next day or whatever,
Hmm.
then they can suck their admin fee. Yeah, a penny a week, even if you try to do something.
Penny a week.
Yeah, yeah, a penny a week.
Can you
Big up
imagine
everyone
being?
that's rolling in. Come say hello. Come say hi. It's a real Soundcheck podcast. It's Monday. It's just after 9 o'clock. My name is Butch Cassidy. With I'm alongside Mr. Darky Face. You could just about see him. Or you can see his teeth and grey beards. So even that's
Yeah,
better. It's just about better.
can't be like
I don't know.
being
We're
like this
starting a
in front
GoFundMe
of.
because we need to get the lighting situation 10 times better.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened with the camera this week, folks. Honestly, don't know. Um, it happened on a stream that I did as well. The camera, unless it's time for the camera to retire, I might plug the camera out and in again. But I did that a couple of times before. And nothing seems to have changed. So very strange. Very strange.
And is that the room? The room light's not on, is it?
The room. That's what I'm saying. The room light. I've got a certain light that I use when I don't want it to sort of be bright.
Yeah.
But I generally don't have the lights on when I do the stream. It will
Yeah, I
just be the
know.
light from the screens on me,
Yeah.
and you see me better. But for some reason today, it's
Well,
like
have you
the
got black
apertures.
backgrounds on things?
Black background's always there.
No, I mean on the screen.
No,
The
there's
black
nothing.
background of the show doesn't help you, does it? Because if you're relying on the brightness of the screen, we've got a black background, isn't it? Anyway, that's us getting OCD. Welcome to the show. I hope you're all right. This week we are going hypothetical, all things, theories, understanding them, if they're real. Do I really care about half of them? I think Dave cares about some of them, and I don't really care. I don't know. See what happens. If you care or if you've got comments, please put your comments in the chat. All your questions. If you have theories of yourself, send them in the chat. If not, email the real soundcheckpod@gmail.com. If it's got a link to a video, please vet the video, no swearing, and we might give it a little play and have a little discussion about it if you want to get interactive with us. Because
Exactly,
sharing is caring. This is
and
what
it's
it
all
is. Share the show,
hypothetical.
share the link, and welcome to
Um,
the Real Soundcheck podcast. Have I got it right this week? Episode 92?
I think so. I went into the wrong room. I went into the other one because this was, I think. But anyway, I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we got. Yeah, it's not because last week was 91.
Yeah.
Yeah. 92.
Yeah.
And we're almost at 100, the magical 100.
Yeah, that all needs sorting out. I'm trying to actually try and get hold of a couple of DJs
Mm.
before they go into a cup clash. So I'm trying to get hold of them and have a little, DJ conference about
Okay.
what it takes to
What
be
it
in a
means
cup
to
clash.
clash.
Yeah, because Culture Clash is coming up.
See, now will be a little bit of education for the listeners as well because a cup clash, maybe some people don't know what that actually is. People have heard of clash
Exactly,
maybe, but not
exactly
a cup
why
clash.
I'm trying to trying to make it happen in that way.
Mm.
Yeah.
Nice. It'll be good to see because, you know, sound clashes have been quite a bit of a thing for many a year. I've never witnessed one live though. I've
Oh,
never
you've got
witnessed
to.
one live, but the whole thing about dub plates and whatnots and people get into it.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
that's my favorite bit. That's my favorite bit. If you've curated and worked with um an artist and then instructed the artist what to say, or if the artists have come in and said, "Yo, you're murdering dead man. Hear what I got? This I got lyric. Listen," and the artist is ready for them,
Mm,
and you put that and lay that down in a way where people know the rhythm, know the instrumental, know what's going on, but the words are different, and the words are just going for it. You know what I mean? They're going to the clash to put down another set of DJs and let them know that this sound ain't nothing and stop playing music. So hopefully we try and get that in one of the episodes.
yeah, man.
Um, yeah, let's see. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Let's see if the DJ Fairies will make that happen.
Yeah, man. Sounds cool. That sounds all good. I might have to try and just switch on some
Huh?
more lights. I might try and switch on some more lights in between all of this.
Well, yeah. Just you can blank out your you can pause your camera and then do what you have to do and see if it happens. There's no problemo. So yes, again, this week, hypothetical chat. Next week, don't forget, is movies, box sets, and series. We go into that. Uh hello. It's a bit close, isn't it? Jeez. Yeah, we go into that. Oh no, I'm not Uncle Sound anymore, am I? It doesn't matter. That was last week. But yeah, we go into that. So if you love your box set, if you love your movie reviews, reactions, and everything, next week, 9 o'clock, right here, that's what we will be doing. So put that date in your diary. So tell a bedroom, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a bedroom, and all of that, all of that. We are live. We are live. It's Monday. We are the Real Soundcheck podcast on the road to 100 episodes. We are on episode 92. 93 is sorted. And yeah, looking forward to it. There's a couple of movies and a couple of box sets I'm really, really happy I watched. So definitely looking forward to it. If you've just jumped into the stream, welcome, welcome, welcome. Settle in, top up whatever you're sipping on. And hey, you can see the side of your face now. Yeah, that's better. There
I
we
gave
go.
full beam on the sort of the mini side light, but not the main light because the main light is just like
Yeah, man,
everything
that's a
else.
lot better. Yeah, there he is. It's better. It's better. It's better. It's better.
I think when I go on Streamlabs again, there's more sort of settings within that I think affect the camera as well. So I might have to
Yeah.
play around with the settings in that and just reset it to
Just get our bright light.
factory.
Bright light, bright light. You turn into a gremlin, bruv. That's it.
Oh, actually,
Because that's all I done. I've just got one big, well, not even big. My bright light's tiny, but it's bright. It is bright. It's a little USB light. What's this one? Oh, look, there we go. That's. I was wondering why it was so close. There we go. Look at that. There we go. Look who that is. That's what I'm talking about. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Look, and we can stay back here now. Look, we don't have to get too close. You can see my eye corner.
yeah,
Big up
I got
everyone
it in.
that came in last week. Last
Oh
week
yes,
we
oh
have to
yes.
we have to really, 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 really. Oh look!
Karen James has
Oh
having the
hello,
sound in.
hello, love. What's going on? Nice to see you.
To see ya. Nice.
Lord. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Top up the mint tea. Get the digestives. We'll have some fun.
Ooh, I had to introduce the office to the digestives from M&S. Chocolate digestives.
Oh, is it?
The best chocolate digestives
Better
in
than McVitie's.
existence. Oh, McVitie's don't come close.
Oh, wow.
In my humble
No,
world,
forget all that humble opinion stuff. If it's better, it's better.
yeah, man.
Like, I'm a man that would say Branston beans taste better than Heinz. Straight.
That could very well be the case. I haven't tried them.
I'm telling you, it's the case.
But who was
you
somebody was
you
saying
know
that
how we flavor up our and spice up our beans? Do exactly what you do to the Branston beans, 10 times better.
okay, and then get
If
the
there's any witnesses in
butter
the
on
chat,
bread.
let me know. But the Branston beans, oh Lord.
Because
But
beans
I've
on
just got
toast,
to
some people sleep
let
on it,
them know
boy.
what going on. Hold on, I've just got to do one thing.
Okay. The reason why you can see Uncle Sound on Butch's on Butch's name is last week we did a pre-Valentine's Q&A, Agony Uncle Q&A, and we went through some scenarios, went through some dilemmas, and gave our genuine 100% unprofessional advice. And you can watch the replay at the real Soundcheck on YouTube. It was quite an interesting session. He was Uncle Sound, I was Uncle Check, and we had a couple of questions and things posed in the chat as well. It was a really, really cool show. We might bring Uncle Sound and Uncle Check back one time in the future. Who knows? But we shall see. We shall see. And then next week, if you join us, we have a box sets and movie review. So we'll be looking at some trailers, we're suggesting some box sets, some things that we've seen recently, a couple of films. There's a film that I watched recently which was quite interesting. And it starred Nicolas Cage, but again, we'll save that for next week. Join us then and we'll go through those in
Oh, it's not
more
that arcade.
detail.
Arcade.
Arcada? No, there's no
What's it
bombs or
called?
anything there. We've got to save for next week. Have we got to
I know.
save
I'm
for
just
next
asking.
week?
What's it called?
Yeah. Oh, you want the name? Okay.
It's the name of it.
Um,
It's not.
Dream Scenario.
Oh, okay, that's all right. As long as it's not that arcade one, that one's whack. Um, see, look, Karen James, I agree. Branson's much better. See, I'm not chatting. I am not even Aldi beans are better. Other labels I have no shares in. Just saying.
But like,
Just saying.
was it me, right? Or did Heinz baked beans suddenly like go up in price like it's Bitcoin or something?
Up in price and down in taste.
Okay, I was just wondering because I'm sure beans used to be at one point that's kind of your go-to if you were strapped for cash. But then suddenly the beans were like 3-4 times the price of the other beans that we were saying. And
Yeah.
as Karen's mentioned, oh listen, don't get me started. Aldi, right? Aldi's where I'm buying my mangoes now.
Oh,
I'm not buying
serious?
from the others. Aldi's where I'm buying my mangoes now.
Serious?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, but there was a brand of baked beans where the value was tastier than the actual Ivy beans, and it was because they added extra sugar in there. That was it.
Oh, okay.
Apparently. But yeah,
I swear the way they've wired everyone for sugar, boy, is deep.
deep.
Karen, I said, yep. And the amount of sugar in normal wrapped up bread, dangerous. That's why
Yeah.
I don't have that breakfast that everyone has. You know, when people eat beans, toast, bread, egg, sausages, they said that's the most high insulin driving cancerous breakfast to have. Just stop having it.
It's
Years.
it's such a tradition in the sense that I'll have a full
No, it is.
English.
It is.
I'll have
But
a full English.
it is, and the Black Caribbean African version of the full English. That remix, when you have different things, a little bit of fish and beans and
Hmm.
eggs, or you do, you know what I mean. You might not have the pork. You might have something
Hmm.
else.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Leftover chicken, beans, eggs. You know what I mean? Whatever's there. You know what I mean? You just scrape the
Yeah.
chicken off the bone, refry it with some
Hmm.
onions, and do what you got to do. Uh,
You know what? I just realized I don't do it really, but you can have plantain for breakfast. You can have plantain for. I would
yes,
anyway. Plantain,
yes,
breakfast,
yes,
dinner, brunch, lunch, tea, supper, dinner,
yes,
and midnight snack. Yeah, man.
yes.
Greetings, the Diva speaks. Arsenal Diva in the building. How you doing? How you doing? Welcome,
Yep.
welcome. This is of course hypothetical that we're talking about these various things. Had another discussion at Got Soul about plantain and planting, but that's just going to be an age-old continuation.
Is it still going on? People that I said, I think people are allowed to have their debate, like, which is good. But that one, just leave it to what's the word? Linguistics thing.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
I,
But
I
I'm
don't
just
think there's
like,
no right or wrong way of saying it. I think everyone is genuinely saying the same thing.
mm,
But if you are from certain areas, tin and tain is the same thing.
I get it.
Because you
But
might say, I want to climb that mountain, and
hmm
someone will say, I'm going up that mountain.
mm,
It's the same thing, but it's how
yes.
you say it.
But for me, on top of that, it's the it's the disparaging of what it is. In that I'm gonna have three slices on the side of my. No, you can't give me three slices on the side.
Three,
You need to. This is how people treat it.
three,
Side dish. That's what I'm saying.
three,
And
three pieces of plantain.
it's
And is
usually
this before
tin.
midday? This is what someone offered you in the morning.
Listen, there was. Let me not go there because there was a young lady who wanted to take it from my plate.
Half that plantain better be on my breakfast plate.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So usually the tin crowd, like the three slices on the side of whatever they're having. So what they're having is main, and then they'll just put three slices on the side. No, that's the disrespectfulness of it. The
I said
disrespectfulness.
disrespectful. Go way past disrespect. It's going to disrespecting.
Oh, Karen, lovely to see that you've got yourself secured some tickets for the up and coming Plantain and
Yes.
Prosecco. Yes, yes, yes. No, really lovely. Wednesday, 26th of February. Entrepreneurs, business owners, ambitious individuals all gathering together, social settings, relaxed, and we'll have at least one business pitch on the night as well, business showcase, and they'll be telling us about their business. So if that's something that you'd like to do as well, just head over to plantainandprosecco.com, get your tickets, and we'll see you there on the night.
Good.
And you seem to have
See
some
someone
bad
talking about
news.
Diva talking about. I've just watched the footage of the plane crash here in Toronto.
It's a season, and this is again hypothetical because there's been a few. And I just
This
wonder
is
if it's a case of if it just happens and we don't hear about it, or they want us to hear about it, or it's something that's actually being curated.
if there's a link, Diva, send it, send it, send it. That'd be interesting to watch.
Glad they're all accounted for, and there's only a few injured.
I wasn't brave enough to book a pitch though, Dave.
It's not even okay. I think I need to put out a bit more promo on. It's not a pressure thing.
A
It's actually
defining promo.
it's a safe space to just come and talk openly about what it is that you, it's not like there's no dragons, there's no sharks, so you're not being judged at all. You're just coming to honestly talk about where you are in your business, what you feel you might need help with, let people know what it is you're up to and what you're doing. You're not pitching to say, right, come and buy from me, more or less. You're pitching to say, this is what I do, this is what I'm trying to help. And people in the audience then collaborate and they give you ideas and they maybe have connections to hook you up with. That's the premise of Plantain and Prosecco. And this might have to get clipped up, I think, because yeah, that's more or less what it is.
With me looking at my hair, yeah, no, I think you might be. I should have zoomed into you. Sorry.
It's cool.
U.S.
Another US
airline
airline.
again. Oh man.
Mm,
Well, I think we're here. That was one of the first one. All these planes dropping. Some people
yeah.
say it's the beginning of end of days.
It's a strange one because a couple of them are connected to things I can't quite remember, but people were sort of trying to connect the dots, hypothetically, of course, that certain people were on them or they're trying to instill a certain thing. And remember, there was a certain airline where the doors kept coming off, and then there was a whistleblower, and that whistleblower suddenly now they're not here anymore. Theoretically, hypothetically, of course.
Hmm. Okay. Well, boy, it's because of a certain new US president sacking Air Force staff. What? So they're just taking out the whole plane? Nah, can't be. Remember, DT fired all of the people in charge of air traffic control in the U. What do you mean? I don't follow that type of news. He did
Hmm.
what?
Got rid of everybody? Is this hypothetical as well?
He got rid of
Everybody?
everybody in charge of air traffic control in the US. So what does that mean? The people that are left were useless. That don't make no sense. No.
This is
That
saying
was the
is
Boeing stuff, I
very.
think.
That's the door stuff flying off. The doors falling
Oh,
off.
okay, okay, okay.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, that's these planes dropping out the sky and all of that. I'm a bit,
mm,
I'm a bit weary.
yeah.
I'm not too, I don't know. It's full passenger planes just dropping.
After all the technology and the advancements that we
This
have
is
with
what I'm
autopilot
saying.
and I'm not saying that these staff are incompetent or anything like that, but I would have thought there would have been even more systems in place, especially with AI on the horizon and all this processing power that we have, that it will be it'd be sad if they haven't used technology to advance that area as well to make it easier for someone to come in and manage. It's just, yeah. I
But
don't know. It's
still,
sad. It's sad.
that's one side of it. The other side of it, a trained pilot who was obviously flown hundreds and thousands of miles
Mm,
and a co-pilot
mm,
are in a plane and something's not working. And the only thing they can do is nosedive into the ground. Come on, man.
well, there's been
Come
some.
on. The plane has to be with the amount of technology that's out here today, the plane has to be incapacitated.
Mm,
No wings working, no flaps working, engine done out for them not to. If a man can land a plane on a lake,
mm,
which has been done,
mm.
why are
And
planes just dropping out the sky?
film made about it as well.
Why are planes dropping out, nose diving out the sky? Don't make no sense. To me, it doesn't make any sense.
It's a
I'm not saying
strange
it's
one,
not happening because it is
of
happening,
course. Yeah, but the
but it
question
just
is,
doesn't
how
make
is
any
it
sense.
still happening? How is it still
That's
happening?
very extreme and very specific.
However, at the same time, we've got these autonomous cars that they're doing now,
Yes,
and I'm sure they will sometimes crash or
they
have
have
some kind
already.
of right. So although we've got the technology to automate things, that's not always going to
But
guarantee
I'm
or
not
will
on about the
necessarily
technology.
improve.
Remember, it's not just the technology. Remember, I said a pilot
Mm,
and a co-pilot
hmm
with the technology. So
hmm
that's three things, and the navigator sitting behind them.
Has it?
There's normally three proper officers, and you
y-
telling me engine one's not working? You telling me between those four people, the plane has to go nose first into the ground? Nah, they can turn off the engine, lift up the plane, and let it land. You know what I mean?
But where? So again, it's lots of factors involved because if it's residential and you're over residential and there's nowhere
Yeah,
to
you might
actually
have to
go,
take out a couple of houses. Sorry, okay.
hypothetically, um,
Hypothetically,
yeah, it's not. But then have we got to the situation? And again, I don't know where the reliance on technology has overshadowed the ability to
well, this is it.
physically
I think some
fly
people.
even more.
Mm,
The
I
same
think
way how if you were to take a DJ controller from certain DJs and put vinyl in
gone,
front of them,
finished,
right,
finished, finished,
right,
finished. They couldn't play on CDJs. They couldn't play on vinyl. They're dead. They're dead in the water.
so that's what
I,
I'm I'm not, no disrespect at all to pilots, but I'm just wondering if that has become part of what learning how to fly is. There's more, not reliance, but the technology is there to assist you even more. So
Diva,
the
if there's a link,
training,
please. If you're looking at something and it's got a link, send that link,
mm,
please. It's as simple as that. Throw that in the chat, and we'll be able to get it. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
yeah, and for it to flip upside down and people still to be, so it's a thank you to the manufacturers of the plane for making sure that it's kept the cabin intact enough and the seatbelts done
Well,
in a
this
certain
is
way.
this is what I'm trying to say. There's certain things that I think the technology should be able to do. If you're nose diving, where's the airbag? 2025, there's no airbag on the front of the plane.
But again, the plane's not. It's not. There's on the front of the plane. You mean like it comes out the nose?
Something to make it flip,
Nah.
to make it to make
The
it, you know what I mean? Impact or
parachutes
not.
maybe parachute, but I don't know if because don't forget these things are whizzing through the air. Although it looks like it's slow, these things are kicking speed through the air. We're talking like 470 miles an hour and whatnot, or kilometers an hour,
Yeah.
whichever one it is. So they are, oh yeah, links sometimes are blocked in the chat. That's what Diva's saying.
Oh yeah, Diva. Then if you got
Uh, put
access,
it without the .com, and
either
then
that,
we can just add the .com.
yeah, put it without the .com.
So there's Arsenal Diva kind of semi concurring with the question I kind of posed or the scenario I posed, where
Maybe
the
I was blocked.
tech.
Okay, I think some of these pilots may rely on the tech rather than actually commanding and steering the plane, which is true. This is what I'm trying to say. Because when you're driving a car and you're spinning or whatever, you have to counteract the spin, pull up the handbrake, let it down, pump your brakes. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You're manual. You have to know these things.
Hmm
This is why when people say, "Oh yeah, I've got a new car," and when they got reversing and the camera goes on the front, and you're not turning in your seat to whip your thing
To
in
the,
and know
mm,
what you're doing, you're just looking
mm,
at a cam. I don't like it. I don't like it. I turn in my seat, bruv. I need to
mm.
see where my back end's moving.
Here's the thing. And again, this is hypothetical, but apparently some women really like it when a guy backs into
Yes,
a space
yes,
with the whole like.
yes, yes, yes. I've had comments.
Okay,
I've
I
had
just think
comments.
this is
Oh, oh, oh.
hypothetical.
Things like, "Oh, you really know how to drive." Yes. Rah, you got across London without sat nav. Uh, yes. There's signs. There's road signs.
Hmm. Oh, that's one thing that I was saluting about Ghana is I don't see any road signs, but everybody knows where they're going. It's like how?
But
This was back in the
this is
day.
what I'm trying to
This was
say. If
back in
you
the
live
day.
in the same city for over 20 years and you
Mm.
pass the building on the left, next to the McDonald's that's always been there, past the church, past the other building, why can't you remember that? Why can't you? They haven't gone anywhere. They're still there. Why does your memory not remember that? That's what blows my mind. That's what I don't understand when people say, "Oh no, I got lost." Trafalgar Square's not going to move. Leicester Square's not going to move. So if you're driving around these landmarks, you must know where you are and which way you're facing. If you drive south from Oxford Street, you will hit the Thames. That's it. It's simple. Just logic. Most cities are laid out in grids, straight lines, and crosses. That's it. Oh,
And dead
without the,
ends.
well, try the email, my dear. Try the email. Try the email. I'll look out for it in the email.
Yes, the email is in the chat, the real soundcheck pod at gmail.com, which you can naturally send any questions, queries, any theories, any items you want us to discuss, any subjects you want us to touch on. And of course, although we aren't necessarily Uncle Sound and Uncle Check on this occasion, we will no doubt give our
Or it might
100%
be without the
genuine.
HTTPS. If you're sending a link, delete the
Yes,
HTTPS.
exactly.
Yeah, at the start, and then just send whatever the rest is, and then we'll be able to take that up. Just email. Woodoop, woodoop, woodoop. Let me refresh. Uh huh. Uh huh. Uh huh.
So this is the plane that has recently had an incident in, where was it?
Toronto.
Yeah.
Okay. Does this show the commuter plane is on its roof with no wings? Oh, the thing spun. I'm just making sure there's nothing.
Gruesome in there.
Yeah.
Mm.
Nah, this is just showing us that the plane is upside down. I thought it had pictures of the.
Or the landing, quote unquote.
Ooh. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, I can share this. It's not showing too much. Oh, thank you, Diva. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Uh, do, 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 do. Right. There seems to be a commuter plane on its roof over in Toronto. I don't know if you can see. Can you see my mouse?
Yep.
That's the plane
Okay,
upside
that's the
down
plane.
there.
Oh wow. So no wings.
No wings. That thing spun.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because they would say, when it has the incident that you open the door and then the inflatable thing will come out and then you jump on it, you cross your arms and you slide down and you come out. The plane's upside down.
Well, yeah. All of that ain't gonna work.
That's what I'm saying. So, emergency services must have done a wonderful job to get people off the plane and
Well,
they're
yeah. You can
barely
see a
injured.
long arm fire truck there with
Mm,
the long arm doing some spraying there, and another truck there.
mm,
Um, Governor was expressed his gratitude to first responders. Said that 3 of the patients, including a child, sustained critical injuries. 12 other patients were taken to local hospital mid injuries. Delta Airlines says the flight was carrying a total of 80 people, 76 passengers, and 4 crew. All flights are currently suspended from Pearson. Staff have told CTV News that they shut down on all arrivals and departures. And the incident happened earlier on today at 2 p.m. Okay.
So have they got a statement from the flight crew? That's the question, I guess, because they are. Oh well, they might be the critically injured.
Um,
Because it was like, okay, what
yeah,
happened basically? That's the question that
Houston
people want to
confirmed
know.
around 2:45. CCTV spoke. Have a lot for business. Let's go back down to 2. There's nothing at 2. So all of these things, these entries are afterwards. The
Mm.
U.S. Federal Administration confirmed the accident happened around 2:45. Yeah. So there's nothing to showing anything prior, not unless it's going to be on social media. You'll have to do a sweep of socials to find any form of you know what I mean, real life
Hmm.
action or anything like that. But we won't go too deep into that. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah,
Glad that people are all right.
exactly.
But yeah, man, this is it's too many times.
Yeah,
It's too many times.
and people were saying that it was somehow there was it's starting to say it's connected to people who have a certain status
Yeah,
or they have something that will change an industry.
yeah. Well, that's happened.
Hypothetically,
Hypothetically, that's what
hypothetically.
happened in Asia with that doctor. The ones that were supposed to be working on the Hadron Collider didn't make it. The ones that
Mm,
had the cure for certain things didn't make it. The guys that had the water engine,
hmm.
the African man that made the water engine,
Well, there's
they,
the
they said
yeah.
they wanted to take his patent, invited him to America, never came home.
Hmm. Hypothetically, this is
All hypothetically
a a
researchable.
a recurring situation.
Sorry, I'm a rubbish international. No, you're not. Who said that? What are you talking about? I don't know how far the delay is. No, man, that was brilliant. Thank you for the link. Don't be
Mm,
silly. That was good.
exactly.
We get something fresh, man. Let's see what you know what I mean.
It's not that we've got this whole and now over to our Toronto correspondence, Arsenal
Imagine if we
Diva.
did though. Imagine if we could. Look at that. I said, yo, we're gonna link up. This is straight from Canada. What? This is straight from Toronto. We got Diva on the ground. It's like, what you saying? Not really.
I think almost every report. It's minus 32 degrees out here.
Ah! If you can access CSN, they have a close-up footage showing now. Okay. Well, we've nearly killed an hour. Let's get into some of our theories that we've got here. We've had a nice one. Let's say good evening to Wendy. What's good? What's good? What's good?
Good
Nice to
evening.
have you here. Welcome to the hypothetical conversation on the Real Soundcheck podcast. Myself, Butch Cassidy, and Mr. Dave Knight. We're here. We're here. We're here. Everything is hypothetical.
Oh yes.
I don't believe half of it, but some of it makes for good conversation. So I tell you what, let's do one of these. And let's get into some talk. I'm gonna click one of yours, my friend.
Okay.
Ooh, I want to talk about this. Let's put that up. Let's put that up. Uh, let me do that, and then go back to here. Push that. Push that.
Wind chill minus 20. Reggae sauce.
What's that?
That's where Diva is. It's
Minus
mine. It's
20.
wind as well.
Nah, that's not righteous. Right, conspiracy theories. Dave, what did you see about this one? What's tickling your fancy about this one?
Well, this is kind of linking the Sphinx in Egypt to a possible site in the Grand Canyon that has a similar setup as well. So if you see the picture at the top, that's the Grand Canyon, and with the same angle that you have in Egypt, it looks like possibly at some point in time, who knows, hypothetically speaking, there was a similar structure over in America. Now, we've seen pyramids that have turned up in different places around the globe, and there's different theories as to what they actually are, as opposed to
Yeah,
just, you know, just the way that they're structured and how accurate they
yeah,
are when you compare them to the constellations.
yes,
So it's okay. Well, what happened in the Grand Canyon? Because theoretically, that Europeans came over to Egypt and disfigured some of the monumental pieces of history, just so that it wouldn't resemble what they didn't want it to
It
resemble.
wasn't just them. It's been other people that have tried to take over Egypt and use it as a frontier.
Mm,
But yeah, definitely. Hypothetically, I think there's a lot of what's the word, pillaging. Let's get the right terms out there. Yeah, a lot of pillaging and disfigurement of certain lands in Egypt that different races and different nationalities and different nations all try to lay claim to who owns and who builds and who runs Egypt. So
mm,
um, to see that there's a similarity in the Grand Canyon, I just think that's uncanny. But
mm,
like you said, there's Mayan pyramids, there's
yeah.
Indian pyramids, there's
Mm-hmm,
what I mean. They were I hate calling them Aboriginals because that's not their tribe name. I want to know their tribe name, but the Australian tribes,
mm-hmm.
they've had their pyramids and structures totally obliterated.
Right.
So what I mean.
And
That's
the other interesting part about the actual pyramids themselves is that they seem to be more tombs than anything else if you're just looking at it as what's contained within.
yeah.
Although you've got the passages that go in certain ways, but they seem to be just housing tombs. So were there other quote unquote pharaohs that were in these other pyramids as well?
If not pharaohs, definitely tombs. I would definitely put a vote on when you're from a culture that buries you in your best suit,
Mm-hmm.
and then you hear that other people get buried with gold and silver.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean, and you literally, you
Do
know,
the same because
this is what I'm trying to say. But then
again.
I'm taking it from a different level.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You maybe not. How can I put? You might have got let out the army. You're mentally a bit left field,
Mm-hmm.
and then you want a certain mission, and certain man saying, "Yo, if you go to this land where they bury their people, they put their goods and their wealth inside their caskets, fam.
Mm-hmm.
What in their boxes? That's all a man's thinking about. He's not worried about the sacred coffin and blah blah blah. Because if I open up that box and get what's in there, it's mine, yeah? Yeah, as long as you bring back this, and this, you can have whatever you take.
Mm,
And then they send some wrong uns out there to go and pillage and call it
mm,
and findings and archaeology.
mm,
So this is what we've got to, hypothetically be aware of, is that they culturally it was a mission to go and seek these things.
mm,
It wasn't just, oh, we're here trying to find out what the best thing is about you and who you are and how you live. you've gone there and then you found out that my man is got 3 tons of gold buried in his casket. You realize that if you take some of that gold home, you are rich for life.
Mm.
And when you come home and you're peppered, wait a minute, new car, new house. Yo, bro, how you get that? Well, these guys are laying down in bed with, I mean, going dead with their gold and sitting in their room. Got no security guards on them. No, bro. What do you mean? Go over there. I can. So yeah, and that's the way I see it. I'm not saying it's like that. If anyone's got anything else hypothetically to say, but if you tell
Mm.
the wrong person that certain people are buried with gold, silver, jewelry, and everything, and there's no security guard watching the tomb,
Mm-hmm.
the wrong minded
Hence,
person is going over there to eat a food.
Tomb Raider.
Yeah,
For real.
the wrong minded person.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me is more than hypothetical because
Mm.
it's been documented in the diaries of the people that did it. How about that? So
Yeah.
call
This was
it call
before.
it call it his story, her story. Call it what's the word? What's the other word that they like to say? Archaeology digs and finds and whatever. Call it what you want. Call it what you want. But do I believe that there's similarities across the world with these type of structures? Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes. From
Because
there was ships and people could travel. I think
mm-hmm.
people went one way and then went back another way and said, "Yo, I saw this, bruv. It looked like this. We
Mm-hmm.
can do this. We can do that. How about we do that?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I definitely think that could happen.
Because I've not seen a sphinx anywhere else. Pyramids, yes, but I don't think I've seen a sphinx anywhere else.
Yeah, you haven't seen a sphinx anywhere else, but then you got the Easter Island heads. You've got
Fantastic.
you've got
And again,
where else have they got facial structures? In the Tibetan up in the hills, I swear they've got faces and heads up there as well.
is it the
You know what I
Olmecs?
mean? On the outside of their structures,
Mm-hmm. Totem poles?
totem poles, faces, heads.
The
You know what I
Olmecs,
mean?
I
I,
believe,
I
in the
see
south.
something the other day about the different Indians that are not actually Indians, and some people are from from Belarus and they're not Indians. when when I see that man, and I love them man there, you know, I've got love for them man there. I've got love for them because they went through some SHI sugar honey iced tea. But you know what I mean? When you find out that you're not really, you were brought over as well.
Uh-oh.
Like, you're not authentic. There was darker Indians that
Mm.
were already there, and you went on wicked
Mm.
with them. Hypothetically.
Yes, yes. A lot of people doing various adventures.
Karen Jane knows. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Mexican pyramids have some heads as well. This is what I'm
Mm.
saying. I definitely believe that there's certain break-offs of what we would call, well, or I would call the Aboriginal. Aboriginal means first. Aboriginal is the first people.
Mm.
And I believe that some first people migrated or either got kicked out and took their worship, their skill, and whatever on a boat, gone. And what do they know? They know what they see, so they go and do that in other people's things.
You know something as well about back in the day is
Brilliant, thank
the
you.
courage and the adventurousness for these people to say, you know what, I'm gonna put a whole heap of wood together and I'm gonna make sure that this wood I put together is waterproof.
I'm gonna take some bull sperm or cow's batty crease or whatever and rub it on the wood of my boat, and I'm gonna go out there. I'm off,
Off.
off. two breadstick and two sweet potato,
Hmm.
and just try get across the world,
With no
which is the
Google Maps.
equivalent from South America to Africa, or from Africa to South America.
Is what I'm
All
saying.
them
Without
mad
power,
tricks. Hand
hand
rowing.
hand rowing with no GPS, no Google Maps.
The man said GPS first. They had the stars, bruv.
That's what I'm saying.
Like they had the stars, bruv. That's all they had. They had the stars.
Yeah, man, I salute them.
What's this one? Is this one? Oh, you might need to talk us through this one. You might need to talk us through this one. Right, let's move on. I hope you're all right. If there's anything you don't want to talk about, please let us know. Let's get through some of these hypotheticals. What is this? Let me click play.
4, 3, 2, 1. Earth below us, drifting, falling, floating waves, calling, calling.
Wait a minute. Was that a dead
So
cockroach on the Mars rover or something?
they could survive anything. Anything. They could survive anything. They can survive anything.
Karen James, yeah, that's it. Just pass the star on the left and keep digging in, keep rowing, and you'll end up
To get
somewhere.
there. The star on the left, you know.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the first Avengers, where sugar, what's his name? Sam. What's his name in the Avengers? Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh, oh, bloody hell.
You know the character I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know the character. Eye patch
Yeah,
guy.
yeah, exactly. So eye patch guy,
Yeah.
where there's a they're on the ship. It says, you know, let's head east. Da, 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 da. And the guy says, "Oh, our navigation's messed up." And he goes, "Can you see the sun?" Yeah, we'll put the sun on the left.
Oh, yes, 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 yes. Yeah, I remember that. And it made sense.
Yep.
It made sense.
And it was just
So,
that whole
yeah,
little.
what was that video, bruv? I'm sorry, I'm itching. I
Oh
need
no,
to
it's
know.
fine.
I need to know.
So that's apparently a Mars rover or
Yeah.
a moon landing or some kind of space travel, whatever they've gone to. But somehow there's a cockroach on the vehicle.
Oh, it was a cockroach.
That's what it's meant to be. So
See?
I'll just say cockroaches can survive anything. There's been a long-standing joke in America that the comedians use that you could stand on a cockroach would be looking at you like, "What are you trying to do? What are you trying to do, bruv?" And they'll just, they could survive anything. And now they've survived space travel, and they've ended up in Mars before some humans. So, you know, that begs the
Yeah.
question: is it really Mars? Hypothetically.
This is it. That's. Mm,
Hypothetically, is it
yeah.
really?
I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave that one alone. That just speaks evidence for itself. It does. Let me hear. What's this one then? Do I need to do that again? So, is the subject moon landing?
Hmm. That's moon landing, and this seems to have come up a bit more recently in the internet travels. Just clips of certain footage surrounding the moon landing, quote unquote. Plus, we had a film about making a film about the moon landing I think last year or
Okay.
the year before.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are now thinking, well, really? Did we really? Did we really? Did we? And again, on the moon, apparently there's no gravity. So how is the flag flying? And this looks to be footage of them setting it up so that it can flap in the wind where there's no wind, apparently. But then again, I'm not a scientist, so this is all hypothetical. It's all hypothetical.
I think the videos that I've seen go one step further back.
Mm.
Who's on the moon filming them land?
And action. Okay,
Logic.
don't land yet. Go back
Just
up and then come back
apply
down.
Spock logic. It is a camera watching spacemen land. Whose camera is it? And who gave you the rights to get the footage
And if I'm not mistaken, don't they take off as well?
and take off? So
Who's left behind?
who's left behind, and what email address did they use to send the footage back in 1965 or whatever it was? How did the
International
footage get home?
interspatial email.
This is this
Oh,
is what I'm
sorry.
saying.
It's
The
not even
moon, the moon, the moon landing thing. I'm not. I do believe there's an international space station.
mhm.
I believe there is a floating structure out there. You know what I mean? Up as high as it can go, away from the naked eye. I do believe there's a international space station because I've seen too many examples of what you know. If you understand maritime law and whatever, if you want to escape it, as long as you're not on land, you might be able to. There might be different laws, so you can get away with doing different experiments,
Oh.
and that's what I believe is true.
Mhm.
Because World Health Organization and whatever, it's always of the land
Mhm.
and on this earth and common law of the land. So if you're up in space, nobody owns it.
Mm.
So if
Yet.
I want to splice a rat with a monkey and an elephant arm, you can't tell me nothing.
Well, that's just reminded me because you said nobody owns space,
Yeah,
and that the same conjecture, the same could be said for stars and also the moon and Mars. Yet, some people have made money selling plots of land on the moon.
how? I think I've seen that. I think I've
Yeah.
seen that. Like there's a quarter of the moon or little point, and then they put a grid around it, and they say, "Oh, you can own that," and people are giving money to some people because they've put in a camera at a structure in the middle of the air and said that you can own a piece of the dust instead of helping to cure cancer or leukemia or something. You want to own space dust? Stupid people! I swear I can't take certain people. But anyway, E.T. was filming. Ha ha, Karen! You said E.T. was filming.
Oh man, that has to be one of the most absolute classicest of classic space films or alien films. It was just an amazing piece of work. Amazing piece of work. And iconic. Can you think of a film that has had, well, I suppose you've got your Black Panthers and your Marvels. I'm just thinking of, there was a phenomena of Ghostbusters where there was lunch boxes, there was all sorts of, merchandise and memorabilia around it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of something that's been in the last, say, 10 years or so that had a similar kind of effect. And Marvel's probably the only thing I can really think
Um.
of.
No, they people don't make things to last, but there's gatekeepers for these things now. So things have lasted, but they're not really of. And remember, we can only talk about it because we're Generation X. We were the experimental generation.
Mm.
the two generations after us are throwaway generation. They're not meant to have things that last. Hypothetically, that's why they think about things differently.
Mm.
Things don't last long. That's why when Michael Jackson, James Brown, Whitney Houston, and all these people were taking over the world, it was millions of sales
Yeah.
they were doing to
Mm.
get to number one and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now these people go to number one for what 20,000, and
Or
some
triple
they get
platinum.
streamed. It's throwaway music. It's throwaway money. It's totally different. Your attention span is not. It's not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You literally think about it like it's not a great example, but in lockdown it was all about WizKid Essence with Thames.
Mm-hmm.
That song has lasted.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? You can
Mm-hmm.
play that now. There's only a few songs that are made now that have that longevity.
Longevity.
And that's what I'm talking about. When you're making music, think like that. What is
Mm.
going to get played at the christenings, the weddings, the birthday parties, you know what I mean? What's going to live? What's got the right song, the right sonics, the right harmonies, the right. Because it's easy just to jump around and say that you're wavy,
Yeah.
but is your song going to last? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Is your song going to last? But
Is your
anyway,
song gonna
we
come?
get back to
Is your
that.
song gonna be quoted?
Yeah, of course.
Mm.
Of course, of course, of course. Right, let's see what we got here. Time is moving.
This is why you don't drink Coke, okay? See that rusty nails? Watch this. This is why you don't drink Coke. That's why you don't drink soda in general.
Quítalo eso para mañana en 10 horas. Y vas a ver que el rest se va a quedar bien limpio, porque le pusimos Coke.
You guys see that? Coke cleaned the rust off the nails. So what it does to your intestines, you can only...
Hypothetically, of course, they could have cut that and swapped the liquid out for something else. So hypothetically,
there's so much things that you can do to research this for yourself. But if you're a Coke lover, just be careful. That's all we can say.
you know something I found out by accident one day when I was little boy. I was enjoying my chips with ketchup. You know what I mean?
Oh God.
Got the ketchup on the side, you dip the chips in there, and I was just enjoying it. But I had a 2p piece, and for some reason, the 2p piece fell in the ketchup. And you're trying to get it out, you slips, you're trying to get it out. And then I pulled it out. The thing was clean. It was shiny.
Yep.
What is going on?
Yep.
So it's like, wow, this is what ketchup could do. And I didn't think of it at the time, but I went to get some more pennies and get them clean because, I finished the chips. It was just ketchup was just left. So it's interesting to see that Coke is also doing certain things and whatnot. You know what I find interesting as well? The reaction with Coke and Mentos.
Yeah, I know, but hold on. Can we just pause?
Sure.
Can we just pause? We've just said that Coke can clean nails.
Mm-hmm.
And Wendy said that she likes Peps.
Maybe Pepsi doesn't clean nails. Because remember, it's hypothetical. And Pepsi is more Michael Jackson. So,
I understand.
Jamona.
Wendy, drop a penny in it and just check. Just make sure.
Drop a penny. I don't know if she would give up Pepsi like that, just to experiment.
There we go. Clean toilets and old pennies. Yeah, that's the old pennies. The test.
That's almost said like it's an advert, Go cleans toilets and old pennies. Yeah.
There we go. There we go.
They should have a cleaning test between the two. I'm just wondering, is it the carbonation or is it the actual liquid? That's the question.
It's not carbonation. It's the liquid. It is the.
Need to do the experiment so we can test it, and so it's not hypothetical anymore. You have
You could Google. You could search. You could search that test
and do
There's people
sparkling
who've done.
water in one and Coke in the other and see what happens.
Yeah, of course, you could
Yeah.
definitely do
You can do
that.
your hypothetical science experiments at home. Don't know.
Oh, something looks juicy here. What's this?
As the plane approaches the South Tower, notice carefully the belly of the plane. There appears to be something attached, and just as it hits the building, there's a flash. Let's take another look in super slow motion. Let's look at this photograph that was taken near Ground Zero. On the right, we see the South Tower, and the smoke that's rising into the sky is emanating from the North Tower, which is completely hidden from view. On the left, just entering the field of vision of the camera, we see the plane just before it hits the South Tower. Note a couple of items here. The engine on the right wing has a shadow, and the shadow moves towards the front of the plane and off of the plane. So the anomaly that appears to be attached to the belly of this plane could not be caused by a shadow. Also note that the item that appears to be attached to the belly of this plane is on the right side. This plane has something that is not symmetrical on the bottom of the plane. When we compare that with the bottom of a regular 767, we'll note that a normal 767 has a belly that is smooth.
Oh Lord, what are you digging out in here?
Oh, there's a couple
Fling
of
some baking powder and white vinegar, and you're good. That stuff is powerful. You know what that white vinegar and baking powder. You know what that can clean? Oven can clean bare things.
and your intestines.
Yeah, no, that can clean everything. You know that oven tray that you've got, and you fed up a scrub in it. Just leave baking powder and vinegar in it overnight, and just wipe it clean in the morning. Serious things. You've brought us back to the towers. I don't know what to say. I think I don't know what to say. I think the only thing that bugged me out about the towers is when they said there was a third plane and it hit the Pentagon, and then they put the plane parts on the floor and said that it went into the Pentagon.
They were picking them up by hand, the pieces.
And they were picking up the pieces.
Well,
God knows how many miles away in a different state.
that's one thing. I mean, aside from what we've just watched, the big one for me has always been Building 7.
Is that the one round the corner?
And
And
also,
nothing hit it, but it came down or something.
correct.
Yeah.
But what's also quite interesting is that there was a broadcast on a well-known station where
Yeah.
they said that it had fallen, but it was still up behind them in the background. So it's just, again, hypothetically, it's just a very interesting situation. This angle I've not seen before in terms of, the planes necessarily carrying something underneath. I just found it quite fascinating the way that the plane just disappeared into the building, but didn't actually
Hit it and
crush.
stop. Because if I drive a car into a building, I'm either going to smash through windows and get in, or I'm going to hit concrete and my car's going to fold, and then maybe part of my car will penetrate and part of my car will break
Yeah,
off.
I mean that's very much so. A car has a slightly different. Number one, the car has a slightly different get up in the front. It's a different
Yeah, no,
aerodynamic
I
thing. And then
definitely.
number two, the speed is a lot less when it's, maybe 40, 50 miles an hour.
Oh, you want me to
Whatnot.
be specific?
No,
I
no,
want to know why the wings didn't drop down the front of the building. Why did they magically disappear into the building? Like
that's, yeah.
it don't make
And,
no sense.
because I know that the back of the plane is quite sharp, but the front of the wings, I didn't know to be that sharp. But it's aerodynamic, isn't it? So it was just interesting the way they just disappeared
Yeah,
into the
not
building. It was quite
not
quite
that
interesting.
one there. I still leave alone. That
Hypothetical. And to note
hypothetical.
that there's something underneath the plane now as a possibility. So what was that was underneath, and how did it get there? Did it take off with it? It's just very, very
If it
interesting.
was supposed to be a passenger plane from the airport, then as you said, that stuff was already on it. It didn't stop anywhere to go collect it. Hmm.
Hmm. And I'm wondering,
Hypothetically.
yeah, hypothetically people, and I'm wondering if like baking powder, white vinegar, or and coke, if a mixture of that can actually affect passports. Um, hypothetically.
Let me just click this before we get. Oh, is that a missing continent?
Well, who knows these days,
Wait a minute, hold on. Ooh. Oops, sorry. Is that a missing continent?
Hmm. Hmm. Because I mean, we've heard of Atlantis in many folklores and things like that, an underwater city or an underwater landmass or whatever it might be. Where is it? I don't know. But would it make sense for something to be there? I mean, anybody can draw a shape, but
I would rather go with Spock logic.
hmm
The water was not as high as it is now.
hmm
So let's just keep it simple. Draw
hmm
back the water thousands of years ago to the level that it was at.
hmm
Then there was more land that is lower than the land that it is now that existed. That's logical.
interesting. So here's again, it's not a challenge or anything. It's
No,
just
no,
thinking
no.
things
Let's
through.
go
It's just thinking
I'm
things
sticking to
through.
my logic.
Because if the water was at a lower level once upon a time, are we then saying possibly that the ice caps of the North and South Pole were a lot more, and that global
Yes.
warming has been happening for a long time to bring more
I don't know
water
what that is, but the ice
into.
caps were bigger, yes.
Yeah, so but I'm talking for the water to rise, there has to be either more water or more landmass. So
Okay.
because water gets recycled generally in the water cycle.
Exactly.
So how does water level rise over time unless it's coming from melted ice? That's
Okay.
my thing. Yeah. So I'm wondering if the water levels rise, then there was a lot of ice that has been melted, and where did that ice come from initially? But we had the ice
Yeah,
age, right? We had
that's
the
one
ice
theory.
age.
But
Yeah.
land masses can be moved
Mhm.
tectonically.
Mhm.
So it's not necessarily covered by water from miles and miles and miles away.
Mhm.
So I just think that there's other things that could England is still attached to France if the water was lower.
Mm.
which it was.
Yeah, so it's just interesting to note that it would have to be much lower, I think. It seems that way. And so that suggests that there wasn't as much water around. And for that massive water,
Or
because
or exactly what they've done to the river. No, what's the name of the Sahara and everything else? They built dams which stopped certain water going in certain places, so which dried off certain areas and pushed water in other places, which drowned certain dry lands to separate them. So it's not necessarily because remember, there's that. What's that? Is it the Strait of Gibraltar? Apparently, there's supposed to be one little piece that leads into the Middle East and everything else. They said if they build a dam there and dry it out, you can get from Africa to Thingy and just go across a bridge.
there's an underwater bridge, so to speak.
No, they're saying if they put the dam there to help build up energy, but the dam will be a bridge, you could
Okay,
just
got it.
go straight from Africa into Europe by doing
Right, the
it.
bridge.
But what they're saying is that it's too unstable because it's on two separate plates, and if one of those plates starts turning and gone, it's not stable enough. Whereas if it was on the same plate, they can secure its stability.
Yeah.
You know, like how they drilled the Channel Tunnel. It's on the same plate, so they can send a bore machine through all of that dead rock, and that proves that it's connected. Because how can you do that on two separate plates? Because one plate will move one way and one will go the other.
Yeah.
But if you're the same plate, you could send the bore machine underneath and come out the other side because you're on the same plate. So then imagine
kinda-
that being landmass and water on top. If you redirect the water, you could push more water on top and it makes the land look like it's lower. And hence a channel or hence a river.
Yeah.
So I
It's
don't
kind of
necessarily, I'm not saying, I think certain places on the outside, I think if 15,000 million tons of ice water dropped off the top of the North Pole, I don't think it's going to affect the sea down in Africa. I think it would disappear before, you know what I mean? It will go across Greenland, hit Canada, go over to
Well,
Belgium.
sure. It just adds to the volume of water, and then the whole volume. Not it comes up in just one place, but it just adds to the volume of water as a whole.
Yeah, but it would
which
have to
arises
be
everything.
a lot. It would have to be.
That's why I'm
It would have to be
saying
so much.
exactly.
But then other people have taken the theory that the water that was already there is frozen because of the temperature. So in other words,
in Toronto.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Let's take the northern what's it called? Antarctica and Antarctic.
Northern is Arctic, and
Arctic,
southern is
right.
Antarctica.
So if I can only use my hand so you can see it. If this much water is here already, which is the Arctic, and it's water, but the temperature because it's so cold freezes, the water's already there.
Yeah.
So it falling into loose water, it means it's already there. It's not going to get no higher because it was originally there.
In a different form. So it's almost like when the ice cube melts, the what's it called? The volume isn't really change much when
No.
the ice cube is finished.
If you freeze a bottle of water, it's the same amount of water. It's just frozen. So that's why when they say the theory of the ice caps are melting and the levels go, the water's already there. It's already there. So how can it increase what? Don't make no sense. It's already there. It's not my logic. It's what people have already stated. It's water that was already there. So it can't increase like what you're trying to say is someone drop more ice in the cup.
That's what it effectively kind of suggests.
No,
I'm not saying the ice came from anywhere. I'm just saying that in terms
you're
of
right.
for
I get what you're saying.
the water to be displaced, then something has to either
But
be
it was
introduced.
so what water got frozen?
No, it's fine for it to be frozen. I'm thinking if the water levels were down here and they need to be raised, something needs to be introduced to the mass to displace the water.
But what I'm trying to say is the ice that you're talking about was already there.
Sure. And I'm wondering what it is that got to displace water if it's
It's
not the
the
ice.
movement and the positioning of certain
The
land
plates
masses
and land masses.
and masses that has made certain water rise. Because if you push, like they say, the bird and the stone, if you push the stones in, you can raise up the level of water. And that's how the bird got to be able to drink. Because it pushed the stones inside the water, which displaced the water, and the water raised up, and then it was able to put its beak in and drink. So that's how
What
you
if
can. So go on.
what if here's an outlandish one.
Yeah, go on.
Because you know that the center of the earth is meant to be this ball of flames and fire and energy.
Yeah,
Hence where we get the lava coming out the volcanoes.
that's
But
hypothetical.
hypothetical, yeah. But what if there's so much heat that is trying to expand and that is actually pushing the plates out? Just small over time.
Yeah, but that's why it's got vents. That's why there is volcanoes.
Exactly.
That's why there is escape, like a kettle and like everything else. You know what I mean? It will pop open. Like you said, the Mentos in the bottle theory. When the pressure gets too much, it will pop it off
Yeah.
and squirt itself out. But there's too many layers to that. Lava's one layer. There's so many other layers on top and underneath lava.
This is it.
Because people want to know why the top and the bottom are so cold, but yet the middle is firing hot. It don't make no sense.
It's very interesting. It's very, very interesting. Because again, with the whole thing about the sun being a certain distance from where we are, we've just got the perfect environment for things to grow and for things to survive.
Yeah.
Very coincidental. Because we're just the perfect distance from the sun for it to be between -20 in Toronto and like 40 degrees in Greece or wherever it might be, or in places in Africa. We've got that whole range, but it just happens on this planet, which is just a bit of an amazing thing to me.
Yes, that's a weird one. That's a weird one. But then, you know what I mean? Some people have seen those other planets with telescopes themselves. And I've seen footage of people who planet watch and can, you know, they've taken their camera and said, look, this is this planet. It does exist. It is out there. It is millions of, like last week or whatever it was. When was it? What were we in? March? No, January. Yeah, 2 weeks ago when all the planets were meant to be aligned. You know what I mean? People were actually taking out their cameras and getting evidence and proof. Like I saw a guy show Uranus and the clouds and everything else and said, look. And when you zoom in, it just looks like some star. But then he goes, oh, it's too bright. Let me drop my camera. He dropped it and you actually saw what a picture looks like of Uranus through his telescope with the cloud and everything else. Because, oh, look, you can see the striations going through it. And I was like, rah, I've never seen that in my life. You know what I mean? So I do believe that there is planetary circle things out there. But, you know what I mean? To say that this is what we've got is the big question. It's all hypothetical.
Yeah, it's things to be grateful for, you know? In my
What time is it? Oh man, I need to get through my ones. What's this electromagnetic one? Is that water? I like this one. I like this one. I've been doing research, a little bit of research on fluid, on fluid and water. And if you know if water on this earth is pulled by the planets to say that there's a high tide and a low tide, in the sense of where you live on the coast, every how many days the tide is either low and you can go out and touch the sand or whatever, or it's high and the beach is gone, disappeared, and it circulates and keeps happening every how many days. Then if we're 80-90% water, what does that do to us?
Yeah.
So that's my basic under hypothetical theory of, if that water's out there free to do what it wants, but it can get manipulated in that way. But then some people have said it's how close we are to the sun when we're doing our elliptical loop. It's not just the moon pulling on us. Do you get what I'm saying?
I've heard another theory about tides as well.
Go on, throw it all
And
out, throw it all out.
that is that it's not actually moon gravitational pulls or anything like that.
Yeah,
It's just the way that the it's almost like having
snow globe.
a in a sense a snow globe. If you were to
Yes,
turn it a certain way,
yes,
some water can only be there. When you turn
yes.
some water can only be there. So
I
it's
knew what
just
you
the
were gonna say. That's why I
rotation
said snow globe. Yeah, yeah.
that is actually causing it to come in and out because the water's just being displaced.
Yes, yes. It's how, if we are spinning and moving around or on a disc and we're on a platter, if you look at liquid when it is spinning, and we just saw that there, it will create a different pattern, it will create a different mood, it will create a different thing. So does that happen to all water? And then that's why I'm saying, if we're DNA, everything, body makeup is liquid, does that movement of the earth have a problem with us? Like, does it affect us in a certain way? And I think hypothetically it does. That's why we have mood swings. That's why we have. That's what, and it will lead me, if I'm right. Hold on. It
Because
would
on
lead.
that
Go on, keep talking.
there,
Sorry.
on that they had the three jars of water affected
Yeah,
material,
yeah.
and one had the word love on it, and another one had the word hate on it. And the one that had the word love flourished. The one that had the word hate was starting to go bad and moldy.
Yes,
So it gave a leaning into the notion that vibration, as well as the words that we use, can affect our state of
I'm 100%.
being on
Someone,
a
there is an
molecular
experiment
level.
that you could check that says that someone did. They were speaking to water, and it froze in a certain way compared to how they spoke to it nicely, and it froze in a different way. And
Exactly.
that's why when people say they make a toast or they celebrate or whatever before they drink, you have to be careful of what
Is
you're
being
wishing
said.
and whatever for, and what you're saying before you drink certain things.
The power of words and vibration,
Yes.
especially when it comes to music, which got taken off of a certain standard apparently
Yep.
of 432 hertz and dropped to something else.
Hypothetically, it got moved to a
Hypothetically, of
different
course.
level of hertz. So when you're in a surroundings and the frequency is booming, and then you're drinking this liquid at that at a different frequency, it's madness.
Yeah. Even dolphins and pregnant women, they stopped pregnant women moving with dolphins because what they found, apparently theoretically, was that when the dolphins know when a woman's pregnant, so they'll come to the baby and start talking to it in a sense, making noise, and they said that those babies would come out and they'd be like not hyper, but they'd be more attuned to certain things and more
Yes.
intelligent in certain ways, or
Yes.
have an advanced ability or develop quicker, hypothetically. But then they said, nope, we're not allowing these dolphins to talk to these babies no more.
This This is why when the mother of my child was pregnant, I was adamant. I said, look, if you can't sleep because the baby can't sleep, here's the headphones, play the baby some music.
Mm.
And no lyric stuff, just
Mm-hmm.
soft jazz, nighttime jazz, or classical, constructive, you know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
music.
Yeah.
As soon as she start doing it, baby settled every time. Every
Yeah.
time.
Mm-hmm.
Every time. Everyone
Now,
else goes, oh, it doesn't work. Yes, it does.
was this was this you playing the music out loud, or is it because the mother was hearing it through the headphones, the baby was hearing it through the mother
No, I got a single headphone for her to put on the
on
stomach.
the chest? Oh, cool.
On the stomach. She can
Mm-hmm.
crack on
Mm-hmm.
with her day, put the
Yeah.
thing in her pocket or whatever, and let the
Yeah.
headphones just sit on the stomach. So then the
Mm-hmm.
baby will hear the vibrations. And
Mm-hmm.
when you know how to do things like staying in a routine, the baby
Mm-hmm.
knew that it was settling down time.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? Because you put the music on at the same time and whatever, baby settled
Mm-hmm.
down, and she got
Mm-hmm.
a couple hours sleep.
Mm-hmm.
No
Nice.
problem with
Because
pregnancy, no problem.
yeah, I feel that the woman's general temperament, and again, I can't vouch for it's hypothetical,
Yeah.
does have an effect on the how the baby comes into the world, how the baby perceives the world.
Ooh, you might need to hold your words there, my friend.
Hypothetical. It's all hypothetical.
Yeah, it's all hypothetical. Let me just show you something. This is gonna. I'm so glad this has worked out. Is it that one? Yes, it is. Let me share this and have a listen to this.
Semen analysis. The World Health Organization has created the standard of acceptable levels at the 5th percentile. So that's semen analysis. If he passes, cool, 95% of men have better sperm than you. It depends on where he is in passing, but it's more important to know the numbers, but to understand, you're 50% and actually 60% of the epigenetic expression of your child. She's carrying your child. The quality of her pregnancy is directly tied to his health. I've watched it time and time again. Preeclampsia is now tied to men. Morning sickness, dudes, he builds the placenta. So I think it's in the doc knowing more of like who builds what, right? Because it's a partnership all the way through. And if you want her to have a better pregnancy, and because they'll say you've had 3 losses, but you can get pregnant, but you can't stay pregnant, so it's not him. 3 out of 4 times losses in the first 12 weeks is him, not her. All chromosomal abnormalities are coming from him. One thing that most people don't know is when men get a semen analysis.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting.
What say you now? What say you now? Because to me that opens up a can of worms, bruv.
Yeah, yeah. And again, the studies like this haven't really been made public or known. What's interesting about this is I've thought to myself a couple of times since we had the lockdown situation and the things that have happened after it. I'm very curious to know what the fertility levels of people are now. Very curious to know if they've gone down or if there's an increase in any complications. And this leans into that as well in terms of analysis, because is there a when people say they're trying for a baby, is there a
Yeah.
pre-analysis of the sperm to say, okay, yeah, everything's cool, everything's healthy? And if it isn't, what's then the next step? What do you do to get it healthy again? And then
Well,
again, if this is now if
I
this is
feel-
now the 50% is due to the guy and not guy not being healthy, maybe he needs to freeze his stuff and it's not the woman freezing her eggs as much.
I
It could
sit
be
on the
both,
fence.
but
I think people need to do compatibility tests first, and there is such a thing. Go and find out if you're compatible first, because that could all be your second cousin, for all you know, and it's not meant to happen. Or you're too close racially, like bloodline wise, and it's a negative effect. You need to go find someone else. You're too alike. So just be careful. That's just me. If I don't know if people don't know those things are available, but I would do that first because it saves all the blaming. It saves all the but it's you, but it's me, but it's me. Oh, don't talk to me like that. Don't me. You make me feel unwanted. Blah 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 blah. Go take a test and see if you're compatible. If you are compatible, it will happen. If you're not, at least you know. So then there's no blame. And it's done. There's no blame. Your thing is not compatible to her thing. You're going to have problems. So, you know what I mean? You can love each other for love, but when it comes down to that side of it, just foreknow that it's not right. And people need to take that seriously because how many times can you walk into a locked door? Just
get disappointed.
That's just me. That's what I believe. Hypothetical or not, take heed in it.
But again, are these because clinics and everything? They seem to me more focused on get checked for this, get checked for that.
Yeah, diseases and everything else, not compatibility. Yeah. Compatibility is a serious thing.
Because if you're going to do a blood transfusion, you check the blood type.
You exactly that. Before you give someone your kidney or whatever, they check to see if it works. So if you're gonna give a partner some sperm or whatever, then check to see if it's the right. You know what I mean? You don't put any oil in your car. You put the one that's branded for your car. Check it. Check to see if it works. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not. You can't take offense to it. Yes, your relationship might break down,
but hypothetically, it's going to be the better option.
It's going to be a better option instead of going through years and years of pain and hurt. Nip it in the bud. Move on. Find the right one. Budupski family. Done.
That's how easy it is, people. Budupski.
But there's stories of that. There's stories of people trying. Blame. The minute they split, she's pregnant. Bang, straight away. First guy that she met, he's fathering rare. Too many times. It's just people say, "Oh, it's just not meant to be." No, their things are not clashing. They're most probably too, you know what I mean, DNA close related or something clashing. And even if you want to call it to the higher power was telling you no. Was telling you no, this is not meant to happen. No, so just listen, innit? You keep walking into the door's closed. It saves problem. I'm not being evil or trying to be funny or nothing. Just stop. It saves a lot of mental anguish. Just stop.
Well, I guess it's at least for now people who've listened to this podcast, which is live again on Mondays at 9 p.m. The Real Soundcheck podcast. Those who've listened to this particular episode, you know now that you can go and get checked for compatibility.
Oh hell yeah, do it.
But also, gents, it almost makes sense to go and get checked for your fertility. And
that's another thing.
Your specimens are specimening correctly.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, this is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. You know what I mean? You got a brewery. You can't be putting out 20% alcohol and claiming that it's full brew. No. Go and check your brew levels and make sure your levels them nice. You know what I mean?
You can't be giving 100% proof when it's sparkling water.
It's sparkling. Yeah, don't. Some brother. Nah. I couldn't. Out here with your chin high, carrying on like, yeah, I'm the picture. You could be the picture of health and have a low sperm count. So don't believe it's just all fitness and everything else. There's overweight, well-rounded people that pop out children. Yeah, left, right, squeeze them out, let them walk out all times. So it's got nothing to
Budupski.
do with being unhealthy.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing to do with that. Because people got that misconception. Oh, you're fat, you're overweight, you're not going to give me a nurse. No, no, because there's fit, healthy people who can't get pregnant. So let's squash that one straight away. It's dead. Anyway, let's go to this one. Let's see what else we can find before we go.
A flat Earth. Well, simple. There's your map. Take a look, because right now we're about to look at flight paths and why they make no sense on a globe. Auckland to Lima, Peru, stops in Los Angeles. Why? Makes sense on a flat Earth. Buenos Aires to New Delhi, stops in Amsterdam. Makes no sense on a globe. Perfect sense on a flat Earth. Here we have Sydney to Lima, Peru, which stops in Los Angeles. On a globe, it makes zero sense. But on a flat Earth, it looks like it makes sense. Let's take a look at Wellington to Lima, which stops in Los Angeles. Again, makes zero sense on a globe, but perfect sense on a flat Earth. Now let's look at Wellington to Mexico City, which stops in Los Angeles. On a flat Earth, it makes a lot of sense. Look at that. You got Wellington to Los Angeles, and then you go to Mexico City. Perfect sense. Now on the globe model, we have what looks like the most ridiculous. What's happening? Why would this ever happen? That would not be a flight path. It makes no sense. But again, this is all my opinion. I recommend everyone does their own research and comes to their own conclusions. I love you all.
Ooh. Let's squeeze in flat Earth before we finish.
Hypothetical.
Hypothetical flat Earth.
I like this one because the logic makes logical sense,
Yes.
but it just doesn't want to present itself as such because of what we have been taught and what we see
Yes.
generally. You talked about seeing the planets align, and if the planets did align, then what are we on, and why are we on the same thing?
Yes.
It's a disk that we see. See the moon as a disk, as a globe, so why wouldn't we be on the same thing?
Yes.
But flight paths prove one thing, or so it suggests one thing, hypothetically. And what was
Can
the
I-
other thing? Yeah, go ahead.
I firmly believe that the shape is not as round as people think it is.
Mhm.
I'm not necessarily saying flat. I think that's a bit too wide.
Mhm.
I'm just saying those flight plans make sense to the theory of direct lines. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. If you're in a vehicle that needs to refuel to get to that straight line, then you have to go out your way a little bit to refuel and then continue on your path. Could you actually imagine going round? Because this guy said it perfectly. Let me find an instrument that I could use. Can I find something? Okay, it's perfume bottle. You see my
Okay.
hand?
Bring yourself into the main frame.
Am I in?
No, as in take the
Oh, right, close
screen
all this
share.
down.
Yeah, and come full screen for you.
And then, yeah.
Yeah.
See my hand?
Mm-hmm.
See the bottle?
Yep.
If this is Earth
Mm-hmm.
and this is a helicopter
Mm-hmm.
and the Earth is moving this way
Mm-hmm.
at how many meters per second?
Mm-hmm.
If the helicopter goes up in the air, the Earth is supposed to still keep going.
Yep.
Why does it go back down in the same place?
Mm-hmm. So there's the theory that the Earth is spinning at a certain velocity, which means that planes should not be able to get where they're going if it's
Yeah,
moving that
we're
fast.
traveling faster. We're traveling faster than the Earth is spinning.
Yeah. So the theory that the Earth is spinning is something that maybe theoretically, hypothetically, is not quite what we're thinking. So we may be on something that is quite round-ish, but it's not
Yeah,
spinning in the way that we think that it's spinning. Because we do see the sun come up, we do see the sun come down. Once upon a time, it was a case of the sun's going around the Earth. Then we said, no, we are going around the sun. But
yeah.
then the Earth is meant to be rotating, therefore we see the sun come and we see the sun go.
I believe those things are rotating around us, but I still want to know why, even with like an aeroplane, you take off, the Earth's going the opposite way. Are you literally just hovering and waiting for the destination to come to you, or are you pushing yourself forward while the Earth is going the opposite way to then land where you need to land? Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
if you're believing this spinning thing, because what if I was to put this stick here and I was to take off from it? If it's on the Earth, it's going away from me. Whichever way, it's not going to be
That's
here.
the theory.
I'm here. I've left this point within an hour. Remember, there's 24 hours in a day. It's supposed, and due to the theory, it's supposed to move in 24 hours is a rotation. So if I've lifted off and wait an hour, this thing has either gone that way an hour or that way an hour. But I can land back in the same space. That's what people are saying. In other words, if helicopter was to stick a pin into the ground like one of its forks, and it lifted off and its fork, its leg got stuck in the ground in an hour, and all the helicopter do is hovering in an hour, that leg that's stuck in the ground is either got to go left or got to go right. But why is it can go straight back down into the same place?
Now, the power of gravity is an interesting one, or the energy or the force of gravity is an interesting one. Maybe it pulls everything with it.
In what sense?
Because in terms of it just pulls everything energetically with it. Because we're stuck to the ground from this force called gravity, but gravity is an internal. If we're circular, it's an internal pull on us.
But the helicopters define gravity by hovering.
Yes, but it's still controlled by gravity because of
only
its
when
connection.
it's dropping. It's defying while the engine's on. It's defying gravity.
It's defying gravity, yes.
So if it can lift up, and the Earth is spinning, the Earth is spinning. The Earth is spinning. It's moving. Why can it land in the same place an hour later?
Because maybe we haven't moved as much as we think we have. So on the grand scheme of the
and then that
mass,
proves the point.
then we haven't moved much.
Are we actually moving anywhere? And that's to me, that's the new level of theory. Like what you said before. Oh, we go around the sun. No, the sun moves around us. The moon goes around us. No, we go around the moon. Like everything changes every couple of years. People's, oh, there is no ninth planet. Pluto's not a planet anymore. It's a star. It's, things develop and everything else. If a helicopter hovers, the land is supposed to move. In real-time theory of everyone talking about curved Earth, it's supposed to spin away from the hovering helicopter. Yes or no?
That's the theory.
And that's what I'm trying to say. Hypothetically, that's the code break that I can't break. And that will then determine whether the Earth is flat or round. I mean, flat around. I said it right.
They could actually do that because there's lots of people who do these flat Earth experiments. They might have like a pinhole camera that looks at the horizon through another one, and then all
Oh,
these curves. But
they've
the
already done it.
mass is too. The land can be at two different levels, so that's not really something. But if you were to take an automatic drone and let that hover, because a pilot may be adjusting things just subconsciously, but if you just get a drone to just go straight up and let it hover there they only last about half an hour. But you get one that's super loaded up with batteries.
There's some with big batteries, but they've
Yeah.
already done it. If you type ice sun, oh, what is it? Sun movement of the sun in the Antarctic. Some guys have gone up there, and the guy who's not a flat earther goes up there and says they've got a camera, a slow motion camera, and the sun doesn't settle.
Well, that could just be the angle of the way that we rotate, because
But what I'm trying to say is this is what they're trying to say. Because if you're in a sphere, if you're lower down on the sphere, it looks like it's going around you. But when you get up to the top of the sphere, you actually see that it doesn't actually go down.
Yeah.
So that's why when you look at the moon, there's always a shiny side of the moon, because that's rotating and doing its thing. And then the sun that has not actually gone down, it still has landmass that's not there, that it can still shine on the moon. And that's why sometimes they're both up on the same, because it's that time of year where this doesn't go down that far and that doesn't go down that far. So they're both up in the sky on a high rotation. Because when I've moved to my apartment, because I'm top floor, I worked out where the sun supposedly sets behind different buildings for the year. Do you get what I'm saying? So I was like, how does that work? Wait a minute, because I obviously take pictures of the red, the nice red sunset, like it's sexy. And then I realized when I put the pictures together, January, February, March, April, May. Oh my God, the sun is moving. And I worked it, like, you know what I mean? I've seen the physical evidence from myself that there is movement in that way. But then, like they also say, is look up. Why does the stars above you never move? Surely, if the stars, if all those stars are here and I'm here on a planet, if I've turned away in 24 hours, why am I seeing the same stars? I'm on the other side of the planet. So
unless it's that you're seeing the other side in the daytime.
Yes, you see the other side in the daytime, and then you come back round to
you can't see the stars that are underneath in the day because it's day. But in nighttime, you're back on.
I'm back in the exact same place, as my nighttime stars for how many hours? Or did I move anywhere?
Exactly.
Is it the planet, the daylight, nighttime thing, movement of those things that made me see blue sky? One goes away, night sky. Blue sky in the day. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm not actually moving anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not doing nothing. So it still bugs me out. It's still hypothetical, man. Hi, don't worry. They never got me. I'm here. Exactly. You talk too much.
All hypothetical, of course. The Real Soundcheck podcast.
Yes. Let's not keep the nice and decent people up too late. Did I have any more? I did. I had this one about the. Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Just very quickly. About the meteorite that is floating around, and because it's been sucked around the Earth and keep missing us, they said in 2032 it will hit Earth. And they said
That's
it could hit anywhere between North America, Europe, and North Africa.
oh, so kind of narrowed it down.
Yeah, it's just spinning around in that thing. This one was a bit darker. This one was saying that emojis are demonic symbols, but I won't get into that. I'll upset people's skin. But if you look very carefully, that there's different ways to summon certain things, and you can use these symbols. So it's just uncanny that there's 72. Look, can you see?
Mm-hmm.
Skull and crossbones, cross eyes. All of these symbols have been used in different things, but yet they favor the emojis in very similar ways. The sad face, 2 eyes. The geeky eyes with the 2 teeth, geeky eyes. Mashed teeth with the ings. Yeah, but what can I say? And this one was to blow your mind. This was the ultimate, but I'm gonna hold on to that. I want people to sleep at night. So yeah. that was thing. I thought that was a good conversation, mate.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. All hypothetical, of course. A lot of it is just theory, just hearsay.
I don't believe none of it. I don't believe none of it. We're on the road to 100 episodes. Make sure you join us. We are finalizing the last few episodes, and then we turn into a new chapter and a new podcast pretty soon. So don't forget, next week, box sets, movies, series review, and reactions. Make sure you are in the place. Yeah, man, can't wait.
Yeah, and let us know if you've got any films or any box sets that you've particularly enjoyed recently, so we can share that with the listeners as well. The Real Soundcheck Pod at gmail.com is where you can drop them, or you can DM the Instagram account.
Yeah, if there's anything you've seen that's fire and you think it's fire, people have commended us on our recommendations. Black Doves, Jackal, you know what I mean? They've appreciated certain things that they weren't really looking at but didn't know, and then they caught our review and they've gone out and they said, yeah, that kept me in for the weekend. I had to binge that thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, man.
And also ones that you want us to avoid. Like, just don't waste your time. You can send those to us as well.
If you have seen something that's totally pants, then let us know. Karen James, it's an honor and a pleasure. Thanks for your conspiracy theories. Interesting chat. Good night. Thanks all in the chat. Thank you, Diva. Good. That's for real. Have a good week. Stay safe. Stay positive. And yeah, man, if you can't be good, take pictures. That's all I say. That's all I say.
Yes, be blessed, stay safe, have a good week.
Peace.